Okay, Dad, I'm going to build this box that I was talking to you about. I wish you were here to help. I kind of laid out a little plan. I know it's not, you know, how a professional carpenter would do it, but I'm cutting out my little pieces and just going to put it together like a puzzle, and I'm believing it's going to work. Oops. Don't try this at home.
Okay, that's good there. Yep. And then do the top the same way.
Okay.
Put your level on it. And make sure you got a good level. The back, I'm sorry, the other side, honey. That side, and there you go. You got a level?
No.
All right. So it's
good there.
That's fine. Okay, now tap it in at the top a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, just tad. That's good, because when you drive it, it'll seat it for you.
Oh.
You got it?
I got it. We're getting there. We're making progress.
Just pre-drill you a hole there, and you're good to go again.
Yeah. Okay. What are you doing?
I'm helping you with the ceiling fan.
Child labor.
I swear, Dada.
And you're doing a great job. She's my little assistant who's putting together the blades, and then I am attaching it on there, and then hopefully Rocky will be here tomorrow. Wow, we just have one more. And so that is hopefully going to go up there tomorrow. What is today? Tuesday the 14th of August. Back to work day for Jennifer. But it's late at night and we just gotta stay up and keep working. So we finished this off and looks fabulous, and also put the trim. So what we're using is just 1x4 pine boards and ripping them in half. And then Scott is cutting them on the angle so they fit. So that's gonna be our trim all the way around the entire ceiling of the house where we do tongue and groove. And I finished my little building the box project in here, and it's not incredibly attractive, but it's going to be all covered with wonderful pieces of tongue and groove, leftover scraps we're going to put to use, and another thing for Rocky to hook up there. That's why I want to get that done. So yeah, got her done. And what else is going on, dear? Okay, he's got that finished, textured over there, so I need to get it primed and painted. And and this is our major project tonight. Oh my gosh, took us forever. But the other day he cut the cedar boards on a bevel. We'll split them in half. We had 2x4s. He split them in half and then cut them on the bevel. We just put a little coat of, what'd you use on them, honey? Some oil?
Interior oil.
Interior oil.
Varathane.
A varathane, okay, just to cover it. So we had to piece it together because we just wanted to get a border around here, and then I got that piece of metal cut, so I still need to get this other one done. I don't know if I'm going to do that tonight. I'll probably do that tomorrow. I need to go to bed. And yeah, so we're cruising right along in this part of it here too. Well, at the Habitat for Humanity Restore in Anchorage, we found these two doors, and one is the exact size for the bathroom and the other one for the utility room. So they're a little beat up, but I think that once I get finished with them, they're going to be okay. So I got to get going on sanding those right now. Well, I am very impressed that this is what's underneath that stain. So just amazing that this was covered up. So I'm just going to keep going at it.
Now go down, now go the other line. There you go. And I'll smooth it all out. Get all your white spots. Good job. See any more?
Nope. Oh, I think. There.
Alright, you're all done.
Okay, so what do you think of those colors?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
I'm just gonna go
Pretty
over
good.
everything, get all the paint even.
Okay. So we put a chocolate sparkle on this wall. And we have have our iris mauve on the other walls.
Dark color, light color.
Mom still needs to do the corners and cut in those edges there. It is today Saturday, and Scott and I were up at 4 o'clock this morning to start the painting process. And Jean just woke up in time to do a little section that was her height. Looks great. So we have all these scraps of tongue and groove left over. Let's see what we can do to recycle those. So I just decided to utilize these pieces and parts in here. And we painted this bathroom this morning. So I said, well, I can just piece that together, and that's what we did. So we did that on the ceiling, and then some verticals down here. And then we had some other parts that were a little bit longer. So now we have more pieces, and we can do that here as well. So got my little workstation, and I think I'm just going to use all the smaller pieces and put those together.
Mommy, so what are you doing?
Oh, hi there. I am piecing together all these little bits of leftover tongue and groove and putting it on the closet ceiling.
Okay.
I'm almost, look, I have like a couple more, well, maybe 2.5 more boards. So, hi. Well, our next project is getting these floors stained, and the process starts with cleaning, right, etching cleaner. So that's what we're using here. This is a Sealcrete Clean and Etch. So does not smell very good.
Yeah, when it first goes on, it's pretty loud.
Woo. And it's strong. So we just rented this, excuse me, power cleaner for the day, and Scott's gonna continue with that. And so when he finishes, we put some more water down, and then I go behind him with the wet vac. So our objective is to get the floor as clean as possible. We want to increase the porosity, and we want to make sure that we do the prep work correctly. We've done a lot of research on this process, and we know that it's absolutely vital to get this floor in shape so that it will soak in the concrete stain. So our objective is to do this bedroom, Emma Jean's, and the main bathroom. Well, then these to the rooms over here too. In the next couple of days, and then when those are finished, then we'll continue working on some other projects, and then do the living room and kitchen of the house next weekend. We're really happy the way the floor turned out as far as the cleaning product. Did a great job, and we are, what did we do? We went over it again with some like Simple Green hot water, just really power cleaning it, brushing it, making sure, boy, there was a lot of dirt. This room was really bad. Scott was saying, he's like, remember it was the first room that I sheetrocked and had to sand it like crazy, so there was just tons of dust and whatever was just soaked into the concrete. So now we've got it clean the way we wanted. Scott's working on filling the cracks, just using the DAP crack filler. Just a little problem with it kind of gumming up there. Just to keep doing.
Snip off the tip a little bit
Oh,
more.
okay.
I hate to do that because it's nice control.
Yeah, right.
But it's got a lot of, it's got a lot of blobs in there.
Yeah, so this stuff is working all right?
Yeah, no, I need something to open that up.
Okay, let me get that for you. It's working better now?
Yeah.
The big old glob in there, blocking the flow. Do you do windows? All right, we are in action. Scott's spraying it on, and then I'm following behind him, just using this little chamois scrub to swirl it. We started in the closet here. I just did that bathroom, and can't see much light there, but so we're just gonna keep rolling.
And now Jen's gonna work it in.
On the edges there. I'm glad we masked off the wall.
Oh yeah, yeah, you have to. Even with that spray guard on there, it's still gonna spray.
Oh, yeah. Pretty easy.
This is a really easy product. There's no odor at all. It's very green.
Green.
But it's a very green product, as in.
It's a Radon Lastiseal.
Yeah.
So I'll have to show the container later.
But yeah, it's pretty much odorless, and it's incredibly well penetrating. Our concrete's about 4 inches deep, some places 5. And this product, when you get the porosity up, it will penetrate all the way down, is what they claim, as long as the porosity is there. But with trawled concrete, the porosity is only going to be so much. So even if we had just 2 inches of penetration, that's plenty. So we are going to seal this with a very, very smelly and respirator sealer, Bright Rock. But it's an extremely good product, and we didn't want to go with a high gloss. We wanted a semi-gloss fill with a really good product. And I know Bright Rock is a really good product.
There will be no videotaping of that activity. Because
no, I will be wearing a respirator
in here by himself. And
that's right, with the windows open.
Are gone.
Fans going, windows open.
Yeah.
We may be sleeping in the RV tonight, who knows?
Yeah. Right, and first day of school tomorrow, so.
Well, yeah. So,
that's all right, get her done.
Get her done, man, whatever it takes.
Yeah. We just finished this room, and we're going to let that dry. We're moving on to the bathroom. Well, it took us about an hour to do the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom, and it's been about 45 minutes since we finished. And this is what it's looking like in here. And let's go to the bathroom. Looking good. And then, what are you doing?
Putting the respirator together.
Yeah,
seal.
that's for the next step. And this is what the first bedroom is looking like. So yeah, we are really happy with the way that's turning out so far. So this is the product that we're using. It's from Radon, Lastiseal. The color that we're doing is forest green. And this comes out of Connecticut. We're going to have it shipped. And we did a lot of research and felt like this was a high quality product. It's non-toxic, and we thought this is gonna work. This is what we sampled months ago. We bought little samples of I think 4 different colors, and this is the color that we chose. And so then the next step is Scott's going to put on like an epoxy. So I'm gonna go. I gotta go back to work, so I'm gonna go get Emma Jean, and we're gonna do. She'll take it to my classroom with me. Today's like a work day, so tomorrow is the first day of school. I got lots of stuff to do, and we're gonna leave the house and let Scott use his little respirator there to do the next part after this dries. In order to get these trim pieces ready for the ceiling, we are ripping 1x4s in half, and now we are cutting the ones for the west and east side on a bevel, so that 18-degree pitch, so that it makes sure when we get it up against the ceiling it'll flow. Next mini project is to get this on there. All I have to say is what he's doing beat using these.
It seems to be going
A very quick fix.
on these, like the reveals, just kind of holding, because these things get runny. I don't like that, because that shows up on your reveal. So if you do this like this first, you know, I don't have any on there, I'm just demonstrating. Go down there and then you get it right here, like that, and then you turn it and do it like that, turn it like, see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm not getting any runs that way.
Okay, so I'm just doing like the 3 sides, not the beveled side.
You don't have to do the beveled side.
Got it.
We don't have any, there's not going to be a moisture issue in that ICF house.
I'm at it for another round. These are the fabulous finds at the Restore for the Habitat for Humanity in Anchorage. Another gold mine of finds. These are going to be the hinges for the doors I've been refinishing, and the handles here as well. So they're set up for a round of spray painting. And then the other cool find, voila. Now, I was absolutely amazed that these things are like $2, $3, $4 at Lowe's. And I'm like, boy, this stuff, when you have like 100 of these in your house, this stuff adds up quickly. So I found a ton of them, and some were missing, you know, the screws or whatever. I'm like, oh, I'll just go buy like a replacement pack of screws and then spray them. So even though they're all different colors or whatever. So we're just going to do a quick little round of spraying here and get back in the house. How effective is the spray painting? Well, I have a couple of Exhibit A, Exhibit B. And Exhibit B, the neighbors were over visiting and said, oh, what is that? Looks like our light. I said, yeah, it's one of those Costco motion lights. And said, oh yeah, we have one, it's white. I said, that one was too. I love how it blends in. Little spray paint. This is what we used for the top coat on the floor. And even though Lastiseal is a sealer and a stain together, we wanted something to kind of double protect and also to bring out a little bit of a shine. Not a high gloss, but just a kind of a semi-gloss, which is what it turned out to be. So several people recommended, highly recommended, actually even our stonemason friend was like, you got to use this. So we got this at Anchorage Sand and Gravel, and that's what Scott used to put on the floor. Friday, August 24th. It has been a long week. Back to school for me, and lots going on. So it's back to school during the day, and then home in the evening doing all kinds of stuff around here. So we have no light in here. Oops, what's going on? The fan is on, but the light is not on. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So on Tuesday, what did we do? No, I guess Monday we stained the floor the color, and then Wednesday Scott did the epoxy coating on the top here. So it turned out really amazing. We are super, super happy with the look and everything. It's just amazing. So when he was spraying down the bright rock, he realized that he had to kind of back roll it a little bit. So kind of did that. Unfortunately, I wasn't here to help him like I was with the other. So he was kind of on his own with it, and then really had to like stay at a house for a while and you know, have the windows open and air things out. So we're almost finished here with Imogene's room. We were hoping to get those other trim pieces up there last night. We kind of got the baseboard set up, but I don't think I'm not sure if he tacked that in or not, but we're close. We're getting there. Oh boy. Out here, so we did get everything moved out of the living room into the bedroom that we needed to there, because our objective last night is get this cleared out so we can move the lift over here. He had to get up there this morning. He and Imogene are on the way back from Anchorage right now because he had to make a run and get some more supplies and stuff. So he had to get in there and do what he needed to do to finish mudding the corners in those windows. So now before they get home, I'm going to get up there, scrape that, and get the caulking done so I can finish painting. Like, I want to break out, when I break out that base talent, I'm going to do all of this at one time and just get that done. Then we're going to, tomorrow early in the morning, is get going on these little trim boards up here at the top, get that finished. And we almost got this done in here. I don't think there's any light to show, but almost. And he needed to pick up some little pieces for the vanity light. We had the electrician here the other day, and that we didn't get that finished, so we still don't have any light in there. And the same thing in the closet there. Unfortunately, I was missing some pieces for that recycled light and the other one. So anyway, that's the kind of what's going on in here. We're working on finishing up this bathroom because the hole for the toilet was a little too close to the wall. We weren't able to go all the way down with the sheetrock, and then we decided, well, if we just slip a piece of corian back there, a narrow one, then if we do ever have to get to the plumbing behind there, we could just unscrew that and pull it off. So right now we're working on trimming this with little pieces of corian that's going to go along with the backsplash and such. So his dad did a great job again, and Scott was helping him out and building this vanity here, perfect size for this little pocket bathroom. So out here we are getting our lines ready, trying to make the measurements as precise as possible before we do our cutting. It's raining out there, but we're going to duck in and out to use a table saw and chop these guys down, and then we'll work on rounding them and getting them ready. Well, we decided that the baseboard is not exactly the way we want it to look, and we at first were like, well, just throw it up there, get it done, and whatever, we'll fix it later. But then we decided, then we realized that Scott's dad had this, and it was able to do this. So it has improved.
About 20 routers that was in the cabinet.
Welcome to Chris's collection. But I mean, this has just totally changed the look, and it didn't take, how long did it take you to do that, honey? I mean, he
not very long.
Well, Scott's good with the router. He's just gonna zip it along there.
That's why they're not plumbed.
Right. No, I mean, we just have them set up against there right now, but we put those down and we're like, okay, we had to decide. It's going to take us a little bit longer to do this in the living room if that's what we're going to do, but we're like, okay, what are the chances of us actually taking it down and redoing it? No, it's like, do it right the first time, or let's just not even do it at all. So Scott was just using this router to get the edges here, and it's a very screeching sound, so decided not to subject anybody to that. Plus I was being the clamp on this big board and holding that down. So he did that on this edge, and then he used the jig saw to kind of cut that one around it. So we're kind of doing the little backsplash for that vanity sink right now. So now you're going to sand it? Yeah. What kind of grit are you using there?
I think I'm going to go 220 and then I'm going to buff it.
Alrighty then. Okay, we'll get rolling on that. While Scott's sanding corian in the living room, I'm working on prepping the edges here of Imogene's window. And by the last window, we realized how it's easier if you take the mud all the way up to the edge. And so all I'm doing is kind of scraping this off where Scott got it super close, because you use way less caulking with this one little gap right there. But the rest of it, that's what we're able to just take this off and then use a very small bead of caulk to get around here. So after sanding, Scott used this to buff them out, and it's about a 400 grit, he was saying. And then I just finished using some rubbing alcohol and to wipe them down. And why did your dad say to do that?
No, it just helps when you silicone.
Okay. So
yeah,
kind of clean.
Because there's a lot of stuff you can't see with the naked eye, just debris.
Okay.
I mean, you really don't have to, but it doesn't hurt.
Yep. So they're ready to go, and now we're going to install them, right?
Right.
Trust me, there is no possible way I could ever get that straight of a line using that caulking gun that's buried under there. So that's why. And the regular masking tape definitely bleeds through, so not working for us, and that's why we went to this heavy duty tape, but it just peels right off and straight line. I'm loving it.
Okay, so we got these trim pieces put in and got them braced out so the silicone, you know, will have a chance to set on them. You use 100% silicone whenever you do corian. Acrylic just doesn't hold them as well. And then you can use acrylic to up here because it's paintable, but when you attach them, you want to use 100% silicone.
Yeah, so I mean, it keeps it stuck on the wall, but if we ever had to remove that to get to the plumbing for whatever reason, we'll just pull it off the wall and then you just silicone it back in there, right?
Yeah, we had a couple of issues with this. This is a bit off level to use a continuous piece. We could have cut it here and then had these a little bit more flush, but I can silicone this in with some gray silicone and it'll look fine. I mean, it's not a real big showpiece anyways. So we're just gonna call it good, silicone it in with a little gray silicone. And then back here we'll probably go white like this so that we can touch it up with paint and kind of get it to blend a little bit. One of the nice little perks of living on our property are these guys. King bullets. And they are starting to pop. This was what I've been waiting for.
Now what are you going to cook with it? That's the big question.
Oh, many things. Also known in Italy as porcini. They are very yummy.
And in French Canada as bolé.
Bolé.
Right.
Yum, yum.
It's 9 o'clock Monday evening, the 27th. And another late night. Well, it's late because it's a work night. It was a very busy weekend, and we were kind of in go mode and not video mode, so we're just going to try to recap a little bit what we got done here. We finished putting all of those little trim pieces all the way around. We were hoping to get the stack here for the wood stove in place, but it was raining pretty hard all weekend, so we decided to stay off the metal roof. So Scott says it's supposed to clear out tomorrow and we'll get that in place. That's one of the last things we want to use the lift for, is to get that back in the zone there. So so I finally finished painting the inside of those window casings and all up here, other stuff that we had on the list to use the lift for. And we're in the process of moving everything out of, well, actually Scott, we'll talk about what Scott's doing up here. He got those posts in place, and right now he's just measuring out the handrail. So what we're going to do is, in order to close for the final inspection, we have to have this completely closed off here. And so what he's going to do there with that board, well, when we have more time, we're going to build the log spiral staircase right here. And then we'll just be able to remove that section of the railing off of there so that we'll be able to get up. So he's kind of building something that's, you know, strong in place so it passes inspection, but it'll be able to just remove it off that little section right there when the time comes. And we pretty much have everything finished up in the loft there, don't we, dear? We've got the trim, except for the baseboard, a couple of...
Yeah, there's only one baseboard on it down there now.
Yeah.
4 trims done except for the top piece, and we got a couple 3 pieces of baseboard we're done up there.
Yeah, so we had to move. I know we keep shifting stuff around, it's kind of driving us crazy, but we had to move all the stuff that's in the living room into Emma Jean's room, so we finally finished things in here, and I painted that window casing the other day, got that done. So yeah, it's kind of messy in here, but we're used to that by now. And we were going to attach these. We haven't attached them yet, but we're really happy with the way the baseboards are turning out. I should not be filming. I'm so tired I can't even talk. So tomorrow we'll be trying to get finishing touches in here so we can just clean absolutely everything out and get these floors done. Goodbye lift. You have been a wonderful friend. It's been a super, super blessing to have this in the house. But now it is time for it to go. So we had to remove the door because we need to finish the floors. And Scott got it out this far. He's trying to get it out with the forks on the skid steer, but it just wasn't enough. So he's got to go big time. We're just going to put it out of the way, cover it until it goes back to his dad. The final preparation for staining the floor here in the living room, and I'm just going around getting off, this stuff works great, goof off, to remove any latex paint. So even as careful as we thought we were with putting down dropped cloths, you know, sometimes you find a little spot here and there, so I've just been using that and scrubbing it. It comes right off. And then the other thing I'm doing is trying to get up any of these places where, you know, some of the concrete was kind of raised or whatever, so I'm just kind of scraping it and making it sure it's as smooth as possible. Then I'll sweep or vacuum that up. And then we're going to start masking off these walls. It is Saturday, September 1st. Our August is gone. We missed our August 25th deadline to finish closing on this house. So now we're going to go for Monday. That we're going to be finished. So I actually got out of the bedroom this morning and couldn't believe how spacious my living room was. I'd never seen it like this. It's an obstacle course, tripping on things. Last night we moved the lift out of here, and like Scott's like, do you realize this lift has been in our house for the past 14 months? And it has been such an amazing blessing. I couldn't imagine doing all of the stuff up here without it. We would have had to put ladders or scaffolding and move it around, and boy, it would have taken way longer. So anyway, our objective today is to get this floor stained and finished. We moved now the refrigerators in the living room, but we wanted to get it out of this space so that we could stain. So I think we're going to start staining in here, and then kind of work. We'll come out to here, and then we're going to move the refrigerator actually in the bedroom because it'll go through that door. That door is 32 inches, so we've got lots of room to get it in there. Just move it out of the way. And the other thing, I mean, people are like, oh, what? Why did you hang moose antlers? Hey, I mean, I should get Scott to talk about this. But we're thinking, what do we need to do with the lift that would make things easier before we get out of here? I'm like, we could
That's a no-brainer.
hang the antlers with the lift or on a ladder.
Yeah,
so
that rack is about 90 pounds, so yeah.
90 pounds.
Yeah, I want to go up a ladder with 90-pound rack. Yeah.
And do you want to talk about your rack or why you chose to keep this one or put that up there or whatever?
It was my first trophy bull, and it was also one of the heaviest moose that we've ever killed. This bull is probably over 2,000 pounds body weight. It was huge. I mean, he stood about 8.5 foot at the shoulders. I mean, he was huge. He was actually, my dad's got a 75-inch bull, and this one outweighed him probably a couple hundred pounds.
And how long ago did you?
In the prime of his life, he was 8 years old. And just, I mean, anything north of the Yukon River, they just get big, really big.
How long ago did you kill it?
1,500, 1,600 pounds max, maybe 17. Up there, they can get up to 2,200 pounds. They get huge. But that's rare even up there. But like 18 is pretty common for fully grown up there.
Yeah, and when did you kill it?
That one was killed in '96.
Oh wow!
But I've killed wider ones.
Yeah, so he's had that for a while and dreaming of putting it on the wall of his living room one day. Anyway, so we got that up there. We got the stovepipe in place, and actually I cleaned about 1 inch of dust off the ceiling fan and cleaned those upper windows. And then we're like, all right, the lift is out of here. So we got that done, and now we need to, I'm going to finish doing the goof off on the floor, and then we're going to mask these walls. I'm going to get busy on that. Oh, there's a lift out there. Hi, lift. I do believe that we are finally ready to start getting some stain down here. We decided we wanted something a little snazzy in the center. And we don't want to take too much time and be very creative, but this is our attempt at a design with stained concrete. And we masked this part off. Scott was down there with the, all the measuring devices, trying to square it and make sure that it was as symmetrical as possible. We have a little bit of woodland olive, which is the lighter color that we originally considered. So we decided we could just put that in this area that's masked off. So right now we're going to do our main floor with the forest green, do those areas, and then come back later and do the woodland olive in there. And we almost had enough masking to get all the way around, but we ran out and said, I'm not going to the hardware store, so we just put some trash bags on the wall. Hey, it works, whatever. And I think that we're ready to roll here. He's got Mr. Sprayer. And I think we're starting in the kitchen and
Yep.
in that far little corner. Okay, this is the before and after, so let's get started. We've been a little bit busy with doing everything in there. We're working our way out here.
Action footage.
Action. We've been very active, not taking time to videotape things because we're just like, get her done. Let's do it. We just finished, and we are quite impressed with how far this product has gone. We basically used, so these are 2.5 gallon jugs, and then we got into that one. So it looks like probably about 3 gallons. So,
1,200 square feet.
yeah, 3 gallons to 1,200 square feet, and
Keep in mind it's a dark product.
right.
If you were going with a lighter one, I would say if you had to double coat it, usually your second coat is a much lighter coat than your first coat. Just figure maybe 5 gallons to do 1,200 square feet, but 7 gallons is overkill.
Yeah, we ordered like way too much. So, but we were like, okay, we want to make sure we have enough because we didn't want to get into the project and then come down to it and like, oh my gosh, we don't have enough. So, better to have enough than not enough. But still, okay, so we just covered 1,200 square feet. Now, mind you that we ordered 7 gallons and that cost us like $400. And so by the time, and then the Bright Rock is what, another 175, so
178, I think.
So then with the cleaner and stuff, so for about $700, we've just done our entire house, the floors in the entire house. So we're pretty happy about that. Got a bird's eye view from up here. You can watch it dry. Looks amazing. This is really cool. We just had to go over this section here in the center. It's kind of like the raised part of the floor, and we didn't put enough product down to get that look that we want with the swirl. So we went over it. We wanted this middle section to match kind of like the farther sections over there where it's kind of pooling a little bit more. So everything is, it's gonna look amazing. Yep. So we're gonna go treat ourselves to a hamburger at the Gold Rush Bistro, and then we're gonna come back and do some sealing with some Bright Rock. Actually, Scott will be doing that. Won't you, dear?
Yeah.
With your little respirator, and then
Probably
we'll
about
go.
11 o'clock tonight.
We'll go later
I would
tonight,
think.
yeah. Well, it's 10:30 Saturday night, and we're just waiting for this to dry a little bit more. Scott wants to wait about another hour before he starts putting that Bright Rock sealer on there. So we're gonna let him do that. It's ideal if we could let it sit overnight, and we've got all the windows open and the fans on, so try to air this place out. And then him and Jean and I are going to be camping out there for the evening, and Scott may go down on the RV or something. So anyway, that's the plan for tonight, and we'll get back at the trim and such in the morning. Sunday morning, Scott was up to 12:30 putting the Bright Rock on the floor, and we had the windows, hello there, All open, fans going. I set some fans outside the door we had left the front door off and just blasted air through here to get the fumes out. So by the time I came in here at 7 o'clock, this morning, it was very well ventilated. So we just took all that masking off down there. Imogene's Imogene's favorite shape is a diamond. So that's what she's playing, jump over the diamond right now. When we use Gorilla Tape and we tried to press it as well as we could, to mask off that diamond. And it's interesting because the areas where the concrete was super smooth, it's no problem, it didn't bleed. But then the areas where it was a little rougher, like around those edges, it bled through a little bit. So Scott did that by hand with that woodland olive in the center there, or the lighter color. So anyway, from a distance, it looks fine. If you're up there staring at it, go, oh, look, it bled through them. Anyway, we decided we're gonna leave it. That's our attempt at adding a little design feature. If we had more time, we'd probably get really fancy and put like borders around there or something, but we just need to get it done at this point, and we thought we could at least tackle that. How you doing there? You're gonna get worn out. Absolutely beautiful morning. It's a little bit chilly Yes. It's a little chilly last night. Imogene wanted to go camping. I'm like, sorry, honey, we don't have time to go camping right now. We got to finish the house in 2 days. So my coworkers are like, hey, it's Labor Day weekend, long weekend. What are you doing? I'm like, I got to finish my house. Everybody else is going camping and hiking, and that's all right. So we camped on the deck, didn't we? And
Mommy,
and slept. What?
on the day on Sal's birthday, they were going to go onto glacier.
I know. We're gonna go when we have more time. Once we finish the house, we're gonna go for the hike too. Okay. So yep, we just got to get her done. So we've got trim and baseboards and doors to build today, and then we'll be ready to roll. It's on.
So this is our tent.
Slowly.
And we're looking at the tent right now, and because we slept in this tent this night, and that's the end of the video.
Okay, so I need a door there. In the process of shifting things around a million times, I realized that we could possibly use these remnants. They came off of the loft floor, and they all happen to measure about the same distance across our bedroom door. So, in the spirit of recycling, I'm going to attempt to create a door with them.
Taking a video of me?
Yeah, I am. Seeing you doing a great job cleaning those windows. And
I already did my other part with the floor.
yes, you did. You did an extra job. She's using a sweeper on the floor there, or Swiffer. All right, so many moons ago, when I had this idea, I found this at Lowe's. Oops, can't even see it. Anyway, it's the whole kit. I'm like, if it comes down to it and I have enough time, I'm going to build a sliding door for my bedroom. But the chances of me actually thinking through the hardware aspect, slim and close to none. So I can follow directions on this and then just cut and put the door together. This is the plan. Well, we got this part installed. We just kind of worked as a team. Scott was doing the trim, and I was figuring out how to configure the track system. And it was a good idea just to put this up first, and then I just measured down from here, because basically I'm customizing the door for the exact, well, anyway, as much as it'll fit, as long as the track is there. So that's what we're up to. And what are you doing, Imogen?
Don't look!
Oh, don't look. Oh, she's drawing some special. Okay, so I don't know if I've shown this view of the, look at that loft. Is that loft finished? Pretty much. I was going to show this a little bit. So you can kind of see where it bled just a little bit, but Scott did, I think he did a good job of kind of blending that in. So unless you're coming right up on it, staring at it, otherwise I think it looks good for an amateur job. You can see the difference in the floor. Like this is a perfectly troweled surface here, and it just looks like glass.
There's a reason for that. Over here in the center, when he was working, remember it rained that day, and also the concrete was overly wet, and he had to trawl. Right. But that water wanted to keep pushing on him, and he was concerned about like what the final product would look like for staining. Yeah.
But that's all right. I mean, this looks a little a little rougher on the surface, but I think it's a neat contrast all the way around. Out here we have the pieces, so I cut them to the measurement and glued them together. Scott helped create this vise system to kind of tighten things up there. So we're going to let that sit overnight before we sand it and put the trim. We're going to use some cedar to trim around it and then create a design. So that's tomorrow's project. And so now I'm working on Imogene's door. We have enough of these leftover pieces to do another door, so I'm like, let's do it. And hers is smaller, and so I'm putting a generous amount of glue in here, and we'll do the same thing. We'll kind of create a vise for this one, let it sit. Meanwhile, Scott is up to some more sanding over there.
So last night we were, after a long day, put this board up in the living room next to our bedroom, and then I brought the next piece in, and I'm like, whoa, that's a pretty dark board. But, it's like these really pretty ones that we're trying to do for door trim and stuff. Somehow this one didn't get selected for that, and I put it up, and then I brought in another piece, and it was like very typical white pine, so it didn't work. So, anyways, it's a living room. We don't want...
Yeah, it's like the super most visible place in the entire house, and then we had like a very, very light pine. Like there was one that was like this,
darker pine,
right?
And, which is cool if you're building something out of it,
right?
Contrasting colors in the.
It's just where it met in the corner of the living room.
That's what I love about wood is it's got its own character. But if you're doing baseboard, you should try to keep it somewhat similar.
Anyway, that's why we pulled it up.
It's a huge contrast. But anyways, I was telling my wife this morning that like if there's any time we can do something like we've learned from old timers over the years and things that I've picked up. I'm not a great carpenter, but I've learned some stuff over the years. When you have finish nails like this, never try to pound them back out, and most of you know that. But also, you don't need anything fancy. You take this and then slightly bend like that, and then pull up on it like that, and then it comes out clean, and you don't have to worry about splintering the wood. And then you have a board that's going to go in our bathroom.
Yes, yeah. We're like, where do we have a small space that we can have a board that doesn't matter how dark it is?
And then you could try to reuse that fastening spot, when you go to put it back in.
Yep.
Yeah, so
let's do it.
You get her done.
Well, we were going to get this baseboard put in over here. We realized actually we need to do the skirting around the hearth before we can butt the baseboard up against there. So Scott has a piece of cedar that we originally had cut for along there that we didn't need. So that's going to be the top part.
Like this.
We'll just, yeah, okay. Nice. I'm going to count. How many times can you go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what you have to do when you try to stay in the middle of your diamond? We have a bunch of these leftover scraps from the tongue and groove, and they're just the perfect size. Well, I needed 8 1/4 to get around that fireplace or the wood stove hearth, so I'm just marking those now. Go ahead and cut them while Scott is getting the trim piece in place. To finish these doors, we needed to have some more cedar trim to go around the edge here, and then we were splitting we've just been splicing them on the table saw, and we're going to make like a Z that goes down here, but we thought we had another 2x4 in the tent, and we couldn't find anything. So anyway, it's Labor Day and the hardware store is closed, so we have to wait till tomorrow to finish off these doors. Okay, I can't even explain how incredibly exhausted we are. It is Thursday evening. We have put off this final inspection for how many times now? It was supposed to be last Friday, then it was Tuesday, whatever. I know there's just way too much to do. So anyway, we're trying to get this door done. This door to go in there because we know the inspector's going to be looking at that 'cause it's supposed to be a mechanical door. Anyway, we just finished hand chiseling out this the hinges, and we're going to attempt to attach that on there now.
We're being purists.
This is our attempt at being true craftsmen. I feel a little bit closer if I'm using a chisel. Granted, if I had some fancy.
Well, you do have the router, but it keeps slipping, the one that's actually set up for this. I don't know why it's not.
I'd rather do it this way and make sure it's done right. So
I would put too much time in these doors.
I know.
So
this is Emma Jean's door. We like the way we haven't shown that one. We did the sliding door for our bedroom, and it turned out. Yeah, we're working on your door. Turned out really well, so we're doing Emma Jean's, but just no room to slide it, so we're just going to put some hinges on it.
And I put together the bathroom door. It's outside. Got a coat of stain on one side. Got to turn it over and sand it and stain it. And we'll hang that guy tomorrow. We'll have our doors done. I put the final pieces of trim on, and then the interior basically ready for an inspection. And we got gonna put our fascia up on the outside and get inspected.
This is it. I figured it was easier to take apart the frame over there and just use this one board, lay it out under there and match up the hinges. I'm sure there's a much easier way of doing this from just trying to figure out how I can get it done and it's not going to be completely off. So I'm just trying to take my time and chisel this piece out, and then once we get it lined up, then I'll put it back together over there.
Doing fascia.
Oh yeah.
So we're getting things stationed right now. We did the Arctic entry the other night. We're getting ready to do this run here. And then we did top there all the way across the front of the house.
And we also have to put these spacers on?
Yeah, we have to put some spacers. The front needed 1.5 inches, so we cut some extra lap siding, 1.5 inches thick for the front. And then the side and the back, it's 3/4 inch, it's half the spacing. Because we need to get it to drop below those ledger boards on the front. Little bit more than 3/4 inch, because our soffit's going to be 3/4 inch, so we don't want to see any reveal on the end of that. So that'll be a nice tucked away look when we're done. So yeah, we're just getting the hard parts done, and then we don't have enough fascia to do the back, and so we have a lot of lap siding left, so we'll just put a couple laps on that ledger in the back and we'll be done.
So we gotta climb around like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And hang off the edge to
just like that.
If we don't put this piece in, then it won't hang down enough over there, so it'll cover it when we put the soffit in later. So anyway,
exactly.
We're done.
All right, I'm gonna get up there and give you a hand.
Thank you, dear.
All right, dear.
Okay, so we just finished the fascia on the roof, doing our little Spider-Man routine, and we went all the way around and did it down this side, and that's gonna be it. We are done on this roof for a long time, and I'm just standing here enjoying the view for a moment, being very grateful for this amazing weather, because this time last year, I believe from the middle of August to the middle of September, it's now September 13th, and it was pouring rain every day last year. So we are incredibly blessed to have this amazing weather. So if we have to be on the roof, it's better to be doing it when it's not raining. What's happening now?
Okay, so we got the fascia around the house. They calculated enough for the perimeter of the house. I think the Arctic entry got left out of the equation somehow, which is okay. I'd rather have the fascia on the really predominant areas, but back here, because we're out of fascia, we got tons of slab siding left. You put a couple of them together, and it'll kind of look cool.
Yeah, we're just gonna do whatever needs to get done right now.
I think it'll look cool. So we're just gonna throw it up there and call it good.
Yep. Well, that's the way it's gonna be. We actually, hi Imogene. Ooh, get you jump. Good job. We actually had not planned on putting this fascia up, but can you remember if we talked about that already? Originally the inspector said we didn't have the fascia and didn't have to do fascia and soffit to close, and then he said he wanted the fascia up there, so that's what we were doing. And yeah, okay, we got her done. So we have a mostly finished side here, the north side of the house. And we're going to use our leftover tongue and groove that we put on the ceiling. We've got all these pieces that we cut off, you know, the ends for the inside ceiling. So we're going to use them out here, but we need to put like mega coats of oil on them, stained, protected, and weather protected before we put them up there. That's why we don't want to be rushed on that. And then the other, we're going to do that along here in the front as well. The other thing we want to do before the winter is finish insulating. We have 1-inch foam board that we've been storing in the tent since last year. We put the foam board on the inside, but we want to cut it in those rectangles there all along, make it fit in there, and then we'll get some venting along the top before we put the soffit in there. So we do want to get that done before the snow flies, but we're going to need a break after we finish right now. Because the inspector is requiring that this door to the utility room be sealed, we're kind of creating this ourselves. So using this kind of weather stripping and making sure that I have it in the right place, because he said that when the door is open, it has to shut from, there's a latch, and so I think it's in the right place. So I'm going to cut the sides. So what I did on the inside here is just use one of these little hinge closer jobbers that I picked up at Lowe's. It's a little bit tricky to install. It's very simple. It's super simple how it operates, but you have to, you just have some strength to pull that thing over there to wind the spring, because like you said, when it closes, it's got a latch. And then we're going to put the stripping down at the bottom here too, so that he's just requiring that this room be sealed. I just tack these pieces in place to make sure it passes the test. So he says it has to open like this and close and latch. All right, so it works. So now Scott already pre-cut these trim pieces, so we're going to go ahead and just tack those over. When Scott was putting the Z on the outside of Imogene's door, she asked him about that and requested that he put an E for Imogene on the inside of the door. So, like, oh, very cool, personalized idea. When we made this bathroom door and put a Z on that, we decided, well, and we could put K on this side. Kendrick Homestead. So at least Imogene has her initials, EK. And we want to make some like homemade latches. Scott's looking at some different ideas to like kind of handcraft something here, maybe with just a little latch that could slide across or something. So we want to take some more time this winter. Right now we're just, oh, you want to close the bathroom door, just, there you go, it's closed. That'll work for a while until we get what we want actually crafted there. One idea we had was to use, what is that? Is that a caribou antler?
Yeah, a little piece of caribou.
Okay, yeah, and then Scott's going to kind of like cut it at an angle or something so it fits on there, and that'll be our door opener for the slider
and then,
here.
Have this sitting inside these grooves of the tongue
Yeah,
and groove, just to kind of anchor it there.
that'll work.
A nice solid handle.
When the guy was here to do the energy rating on the house, he said that we could get a 5-star plus rating if we installed these special switches, because we don't have an air exchange system. And he actually asked Scott, like, well, what are you gonna do? We're like, open a window. He's like, well, according to federal regulations, that doesn't qualify as ventilation. Go figure. Anyway, he said if we install these in both bathrooms for the fan to ventilate, we're like, whatever, we'll do it to get the rating. And so he actually told Scott that he would have rated the house higher than the 5-star plus, but they don't have that rating, so
no, it's basically they rate it as high as the standards go until they the way he explained it to me, it's like, you know, that's as high as it goes. Like, but if they could actually rate a house or a commercial building where it's like you came in like say an 8 or 9, you know, just a different rating system, that would be the case. The way he explained it to me is like, this is just as high as they go. You know, this is the top of the standard. But like what he was saying is like, for a residential home, it's one of the highest, if not the highest he's done. The only thing that would come in higher that he's seen is like the commercial stuff with smaller windows, and we wanted big views and things like that. So you lose some there. But the house was so tight, we actually had to install. He tried to see if we could do it in just one bathroom, but he said, no, after you did the thing, you need them both. A timer, a switch, automatic timer, so that the vents come on the bathroom so many minutes a day to get the air filtration or whatever. You know?
yeah, we still open the windows.
It wasn't a big deal. And like whatever it took to get the house closed. Okay, $36 here, $36 there, whatever.
Exactly.
Get it done, right?
Right. It is October 13th, and I realize it's been exactly 2 months since we have posted a video, and we certainly need to get around to updating everybody on what's been going on. It has been a long road in finishing this house, and just to be honest, we were completely exhausted by the time we were finished, and it was really tough on me because I had let papers go at school that I had to get caught up on grading, and so I've been trying to feverishly get those done, and we were both, I mean, absolutely physically and mentally exhausted, and we had to just kind of shut everything down. And so now it's to the point like, wow, we've got all this video footage, we need to put it together, plus our computer's on the blink, and so we can't even, you know, put the video footage together. It's been kind of crazy, so I'll spare you all those details. But to kind of recap a little bit, we were able to finally close on the house with the final loan on September 24th, which was 1 day before the deadline. Talk about stressful. Because we had already had it extended a 1 month, and so we got that done, and we were finally like, yay, you know, we did it. It came down to the end where we got the loan for $208,000, and the appraisal came in at $300,000. So we were very pleased with that. We were about $5,000 over the original budget, which was $200,000. We had set that for doing the house. And so we had to pay a little more out of the pocket at the end of it. So we are totally broke. But we have a finished house, and we are just so grateful to be done. We've got some projects for the winter, but we're right now going to hold off on anything. Like I said, we just need a break. We need to rest and recuperate. spend some time together as a family. And well, I guess our main priority would probably be to get the spiral staircase done, so we have access to the loft from the interior of the house. And then anything else we do beyond that, we'll see how things go. But it'll be good just to be able to be in here this winter and enjoy this house, enjoy the fruits of our labor. Absolutely. So we'll see what happens. We're not going to promise anything. If we do get some projects completed over the winter, we will certainly, post some videos and update folks. We know that we certainly appreciate everybody, who's been watching and kind of cheering us on along the way. All of our friends and family, and especially our parents, we're so grateful for your support, and all of our friends and family from far off, and new folks that have come along, and that we feel like, we kind of know you because you've been following us for so long. And we haven't forgotten all of the suggestions that people have made, like, we want to certainly build that high bed in Imogene's room, and like, we're going to go back, Bert, and look at your idea about the design. And so we have more things that we want to do on the house, but it's just been such a hard push to actually finish it that we're gonna, like I said, we kind of need to take a little break for now. So anyway, kind of Kendrick Homestead signing off for a little while, and blessings to everybody.